Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
And welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas. And as always, I am podcasting off the chilly shores of the Pacific Ocean. Got a sweatshirt on today because it's a little cold out here in Southern California. PORSBR is my Twitter handle. And also the text line is right below. Text us some questions if you have any questions you want to add to either this show or the Put on Raiders podcast as well. So Sunday morning, get your breakfast. The wives and girlfriends probably will like this game because it's just early in the morning. After the game's over, you can go hit and go hit your honey-do list after the 9 a.m. kickoff out there Pacific time in Boulder, Colorado, where USC plays the Colorado Buffaloes. Again, they're slowly but surely creeping towards the part of the schedule where these games are not going to be a foregone conclusion. And I know that DJ Khaled's going to be there. I know that Lil Wayne's going to be there. I know that LeBron's going to be there. I know all these guys are going to be at that game. But at the end of the day, the game is going to be a foregone conclusion. USC is going to win this game and win it pretty handily. And I hate to give like a boring preview of the game, but it's not going to be the hype before the game. It's going to be more exciting than the actual game itself. Simple as that. Will they make some plays here and there? Yes. Shedeur Sanders is a solid quarterback. I give Deion a lot of credit. I know people want to go after Deion for all the different things, but he really is about the kids in a lot of ways. I know people, his persona makes it look like he's about himself, but him doing what he's doing basically takes a lot of the pressure off of the kids. It takes all the pressure off the kids. The kids don't have to worry about anything but just go play football. Now, what the kids did, his kids did in Oregon is take on his persona, stomp on the logo, talk about I'm gonna beat Dan Lanning's ass. And yes, Dan Lanning has a punchable face, but we don't condone violence here on the Student Body Right USC podcast. I think Lincoln Riley this week has made it pretty. He and Caleb Williams have done a really good job. And I think that's one of the reasons why I think Caleb Williams makes a really good pro prospect because of the mentality. He's just really kind of all business. Like he really doesn't play games in these situations. And you can hear from him, you can hear from Lincoln Riley that they're not here to get into the battle of, Deion. They're trying to win national championship. They're trying to get to the playoff. And this is a stumbling block where like you lose this game and then you're out of it. Like USC will never recover and they could beat everybody else in the schedule and they'll be 5th out of 4 teams. They'll find a way. The voters will find a way. So they know how if you have that mentality that you have to get it done and go out there and get it done, then they'll go out there, get it done against a Colorado team that really struggles on the offensive line, struggles on the defensive line. Let's start with the defensive line. They're really small up front. I mean, if USC wanted to just hand the ball off to Austin Jones, hand the ball off to Marshawn Lloyd this entire game, they could probably do it. They could if they really want to be an offense that says, hey, let's get 10 attempts. Let's do 10. We're going to give Caleb Williams 10 attempts today. That's it. They could win this game and still score 40, 50 points. That's how much bigger, stronger that this offensive line is. And the crowd's going to be into it. The Rock will probably be there. And he'll have his blenders on, and then he'll try to rip off his shirt and do all the things like that. But I'm not disrespecting Colorado. But it's just in the trenches. Off of the USC offensive line against the defensive line of Colorado, it's just such a mismatch that it would take multiple injuries, knock on wood. It would take, multiple injuries. It would take multiple holding. It would have to be like the all-time penalized USC game ever for this game to be for this game to be close. It's really that simple. You can't make it up. That's how much better they are. And then this is year one. So I think Dion has the team going in the right direction. You every time I pick up my phone and go to Instagram, they get another transfer, things like that. And they're trying to get people to come over, and it's working. The question is, and it's the same question with USC. Can they continue to get the big uglies up front? USC's offensive line, they can they USC out throughout their history have been able to get offensive linemen. Defensive linemen, Bear Alexander helped. I mean, he helped the game of Solomon Bird. He helped the game of Romalo Height. Like, I mean, all those guys have been playing pretty good football ever since they had Bear Alexander come into the fold with USC. So that's something to think about too. Can USC keep doing that? Now to the defensive line. That offensive line is going to get. I mean, I give Sanders credit that he can be tough and take a hit. I would people say don't blitz, don't blitz, don't blitz. I have a hard time just not being aggressive. Some of the numbers, when you look at the numbers for USC, it says when they don't blitz, they actually play better defense in the passing game. So if you don't blitz, you rush four, drop everybody else, and keep those windows really tight for Shedeur Sanders. It's going to lead to sacks. Good passer, but I think people have this idea and this notion of black quarterbacks, and every black quarterback isn't created the same as far as that stereotype of being mobile. He's mobile. He can make a play, but he's a pocket passer for the most part. He really is. He's not a guy like Caleb Williams who can rip off a 60-yard run. And he's just, you'd have to really be in the depths of really bad man coverage to have that happen. So something to really think about when you're watching him. He's not that kind of guy as far as that kind of, blazing speed, turn up field, Randall Cunningham type. He's not that type of quarterback. He's a pocket passer and a very good one, if you will. Also, the running game for the Buffaloes. I mean, they're averaging like what 2.0 yards per carry. They're not after a good start. When they won and beat TCU, they really struggled to run the football. They really struggled a lot to run the football. So I would say that this would be a good week for the USC Trojans to not give up any yards on the ground, because everybody's going to start crying about. I mean, people were still crying about Scatterboo last week, even though the game was pretty much under control, and there's things. So, I think what people want to see is the tackling. They want to see tackling. They want to see all these things. They want to see people when they want to see USC tackle. They want to see USC take care of business early. They want to see USC make this a little bit of a laugher. They want to see USC just do a carbon copy of what Oregon did. If you tackle, they don't have a chance to beat you. It's just that simple. If you tackle, they don't have a chance to beat you. Now, it's funny how going into the game, everybody was like really happy. Going into last week's game against Arizona State, everybody was pretty good about the USC defense, and then now they have one game where they missed some tackles, because at USC you're not allowed to miss tackles, but you're allowed to miss tackles in Washington. You're allowed to miss tackles anywhere else in the country. I would just, they're human beings. They're going to be missed. I think an acceptable number is 3 or 4. But once you get into the double digits and the teens, especially, then you can't have that. You can't have those plays. So I know it's a little bit. I know we want to see Alex Grinch play a little bit. Alex Grinch is who he's going to be. So I'm not asking Alex Grinch to be. He has better pieces this year. This should be. I don't know where Keon Bars is. I don't know where Rajon Davis is. I'm not sure. I just want to keep. I don't want to sit in these games and USC is sitting there telling. USC last year said make every player earn it. I want to see everybody earn it. And when you watch the film and when you watch Rajon Davis play, he is a really good linebacker. So, and he's probably he and Eric Gentry, that combination is probably the best linebacking tandem they have. Now, Tackett Curtis. I'm not against Tackett Curtis getting burned. Highly touted freshman, give him the burn. Like much fanfare for Mason Cobb. Okay, fine, bring him in. But like, if Mason Cobb is not doing the job, then it's okay. It's okay to let that go. It's okay to let that slide. It's okay to let Mason Cobb, um, you know, sit on the bench for a little bit. It's a long season. They're gonna need Mason Cobb. They're gonna need all these players because at some point somebody can get hurt. You never know what position group is gonna get ravaged by injury when you're playing a 13 game college football season or a 17 game NFL season. So you got to think about those things as well. So I think USC wins this game about what 52 to 20, maybe a late score just to get every USC fan upset that they get 20 points to Colorado. Because we gotta have something to be angry about out here in Los Angeles. So that'll be it. But yeah, really quick preview because I just like I said, this game is not like I'm not gonna sugarcoat, lie, and sit here and talk to you guys and like BS you like this is gonna be a good game. Like it really should not be a good game. And USC should handle this Colorado team pretty easily. But I do want to give Colorado its just due because they're not there yet, but they still won. They still won 3 games with 3 games, and they could possibly, with Cal on the schedule, other teams on the schedule, they could get to 6 wins and become bowl eligible. And if you do that in year one, after the team went 1-10, 1-11, then Dion really Coach Prime did his job for year one. Now, can he follow it up with 8 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins the following year? That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. The biggest thing. So looks like it's no Shiloh Sanders. Looks like it's gonna be no Travis Hunter in this game too as well. So another reason why USC should go ahead and make quick work of the Buffaloes. All right, Student Body Right USC podcast. Thank you for watching. And then listen, get your breakfast ready. Don't forget, it's not 9 p.m. It's 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Get ready to get. This is a good way for USC to get ready for those 9 a.m. starts because when they start playing Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, it's going to be 9 a.m. Pacific time. You know how that goes. All right, the East Coast goes to bed at like 5:30. Anything after that, East Coast they start crying about what time the game is. All right. All right. Peace, y'all. And fight on, as always.